I kind of want to go over PCIe, which stands for Peripheral Component Interconnect Express. This is how the CPU connects to the GPU. I think it would actually help to take a look at an image of what the GPU looks like. Whenever I see these types of images, my brain does not register what is actually happening. Looking at something like this is a lot more reasonable for me. The main thing to know about the PCIe is this is how the GPU gets physically connected to the motherboard. What that means is that any data that needs to go from the CPU to the GPU needs to go through the PCIe Express. Now the GPU can handle 800 or 900 gigabits per second, but the PCIe Express is much slower than that. Depending on the version, can handle somewhere between 16, 32 or 64 gigabits per second. Clearly that is a large bottleneck. If you're trying to send data from the CPU to the GPU to process, most of the time is actually going to be spent on sending the data while the GPU actually remains idle. Unless you figure out a way to store the data in video RAM, which is obviously much faster than, storing it on CPU and sending it over every single time. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're always feeding it with data so it's running, because it would pretty much be a waste if you are not using your GPU half the time. Think of it like if you've got a gaming PC, maybe if you're playing video games for 6 hours, like your GPU is going to be working for 6 hours. The other time, the GPU may not actually be running all the time. This is okay for our gaming PC because honestly, I'd rather preserve the GPU for the moments that I'm actually gaming. But if you're like an AI company, you need to ensure that every single operation is optimized such that your GPU is always running, because if you're going to buy some of those NVIDIA racks that are like $50,000 or $100,000, you're going to want to make sure that you're utilizing that to the maximum extent, because any time that you're not using it, you're essentially wasting it, right? And you might as well rent it out, I guess, which kind of begs the question, should I be renting out the GPU on my computer to let someone else train so that they can pay me for having a gaming PC? I don't know, but that sounds like an interesting opportunity that somebody should explore, because I wouldn't mind if I was getting $20 or $50 a day to just let someone else use the GPU on my gaming PC. Anyway, that's a completely separate point. So let's just take a quick look at some code that's used to create this checkerboard image, and let's see when we would cross the PCIe bus. First, we're just defining the dimensions. We are allocating some space on the CPU memory, and then we're also allocating some space on the GPU memory. Then we are constructing our grid size and our block size, and then we're going to be running the checkerboard kernel function, which is going to update this D output variable. We want to make sure that we wait on the CPU side for CUDA program to finish. And then of course we're going to copy the memory from the device, which is on the GPU, to the host, which is the CPU. So we're going to use CUDA mem copy device to host. And this is exactly where the PCIe connection is going to be used, because this operation is copying memory from the device, in this case the GPU, to the CPU. Once we have the memory on the CPU, we're actually going to want to save the file, which is what creates this canvas.ppm file. And of course we're going to free the data. But the point is that right here, when we're doing the CUDA mem copy from device to host, is when we're going from the GPU through the PCIe bus onto the CPU, which is then going to do some additional processing to create this image. And of course, the other moment that we were working with this is, of course, when we did with CUDA malloc. This is actually, I believe, just setting up some data on the VRAM. VRAM is like RAM, but for the GPU. It stands for video memory. VRAM is much faster to go to the GPU. I think it's like 800 gigabits per second. So pretty much it can, easily feed the GPU with as much data as it needs. Of course, in the case of this image, we're not sending that much data at all. Like, it's just a 400 by 400 image. So the size of the data that's being sent to the GPU is not that large. So this isn't going to probably cause any bottlenecks. But as you can imagine, that if I was actually trying to send over an LLM, you can imagine that would take some time. And of course, that's going to be bottlenecked by the PCIe bus. There's like a key term for it called like PCIe tax, and you kind of want to minimize the PCIe tax. It's almost like you're getting taxed for importing stuff to a different country, because a GPU is like a different country from the CPU, right? And so you want to minimize the amount of times that you transfer data, or you want to optimize the way that you transfer the data, or you want to increase the VRAM itself so that the amount of times you transfer data from the CPU to the GPU is it might be a lot at the beginning, but once you've got a lot of the data in the VRAM, you don't actually worry about transferring it back and forth all the time. Anyway, that's what I want to talk about in this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button and consider subscribing for more random C++, CUDA, GPU programming style videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.